Wars, poverty, climate change. But forget all that, because one of the more pressing issues many countries are noted to facing is of course Generation Z. And Japan is no different. So exactly what problems are the land of the rising sun facing with their Gen Z?
Yeah,
I actually never thought about it. Other countries have a Gen Z too, not just Americans.
20歳を過ぎてお酒を飲めなくても人生をうまくやっていく方法ということでね。
Well, that's what we're going to explore in this video. In many aspects, the Gen Z of Japan share the same kind of characteristics as Gen Z in most parts of the world.
Yeah,
Their digital
they love YouTube gaming. Bye, Todd! Bye! They love YouTube gaming. I saw Pippa playing on the YouTube gamings, man! God, those games are so bad. How do you even unironically enjoy those?
Growing up in a world where the internet already existed and during the rise of social media. Part of what this means is younger Japanese people are used to obtaining raw information about what is happening in Japan and around the world. Previous generations were, and many still, are used to gaining their information from traditional forms of media like newspapers and TV. In fact, a huge reason why traditional media is still thriving in Japan is simply because there aren't as many young people, with the average age being around 49, making—
That's insane. The average age in the country is 49. That's really bad, man. That's so bad. Yeah, it's an aging geriatric society. Japan's gonna collapse because of like a health, not health population crisis, a population crisis. They're not having babies, man.
Japan's population the oldest in the world. However, as many might have already known, traditional media is often quite selective on what is reported and tends to spin stories in a particular way depending on their audience base.
What the hell? Are they comparing like the airflow of when you say things in English versus Japanese? This is so weird. What?
What this has resulted in is a communication divide between Gen Z and previous generations on a range of topics. However, we are seeing a rise in more older Japanese internet users within more recent years. But let's get to the main issue, which is typically brought up when talking about Gen Z. Work. Japanese society is heavily centered around working, and nothing beats social credit like being a full-time employee, aka say shine, in a top company. Japanese company practices also typically require a level of commitment that goes beyond the job description, and being active in trying to get your boss to like you so you can climb the corporate ladder, which is also assumed to be something you want to do. Something else I don't usually hear about.
Guys, if you think American corporatism is bad, go to Japan and work there for like 3 months. That shit is ass. Like, America, corpo, borpo, like, having to, like, suck up to your boss to, like, get, like, a 50-cent raise. Japan is probably, like, at least 10 to 50 times worse.
Within other videos that discuss Japanese working culture is the view older generations take that company members are like family, where you'd be given a role like being the big brother or sister. This is actually used as a method to stop new grads from suddenly quitting by letting their senior, aka senpai, be someone they can go easily talk to. But we'll talk about the quitting issue.
Yeah, and then the bad senpais, they like pressure them into staying even if they're unhappy because it's the right thing to do. There's a lot of societal pressure in Japan.
In just a bit. Overall, the expectation for Japanese companies is that you'll stay within that company for life, being moved into different departments at the company's convenience.
America used to be like that. Now it's about corporate. Now it's all about jumping between jobs so that you can climb the corporate ladder that way. In the 60s, 70s, and I think it started falling off in the 80s, that's how it used to be. You'd get like a job and just climb it. Juji. No one cares, man. I know you hate Corpa Borpa, but you don't have to put in your 2 cents.
However, many of the Gen Z in Japan are seeing work differently, seeing it as just a place to work. I know, Shocking.
Wow.
This has led to complaints from superiors that they aren't able to communicate and bond anymore with those below.
Well, that sucks. I don't know what to tell you. I'm actually kind of hoping that the Japanese work culture will change in that sense when all the boomers die off. No offense, it's just like, you know, an age thing, like they will pass eventually. But I think there may be a shift coming. And I actually hope that also comes with, in America, there's also a revolution with Gen Z saying that they don't want to get worked to death.
Them, as many younger workers aren't as keen on chit-chatting and also refuse to go out drinking with their boss after work, preferring to prioritize their private time. Not only that, a big complaint about Gen Z when it comes to communication within the workplace is that they're too sensitive. Reasoning for this is the notable increase in the types of haras there are. Hara meaning harassment. The most common type of hara you are bound to hear about is sekuhara, which stands for sexual harassment. But
oh yeah, it's super common. Even outside of the work culture, yeah, they have dedicated buses and trains that have like female sections because it's like super common apparently. It's like an actual problem they have to combat.
Now, different haras are constantly popping up, and many attribute this to Gen Z. For example, yumehara, yume meaning dream. Now, some of you might be scratching your heads wondering, what kind of harassment exactly is that? Essentially, this is when your boss or senpai asks you about your dreams, as in what you aspire to do. Some preferring to just not talk about their dreams or just not having any dreams in the first place, feeling that they were just put on the spot. What also counts as yumehara is when those superiors talk about their dreams, basically because the younger workers don't really care. There is also another trait.
Yeah, it's also another form of like trying to bond with your worker and trying to guilt them into being like, oh, your dream is to do this. Well, if you work for this company for 20 years, maybe that dream can come true. So you should like totally keep working here.
It's about Gen Z that is something we often hear about in the news. They easily quit. Yes, as I mentioned before, quitting is probably the biggest issue many companies are facing with Gen Z. Forget about staying for life, some quit within a year. What's also interesting is that some will choose not to say they quit themselves, but will use an agency that is specialized in quitting on behalf of their clients. Yes, you heard that right. Some reasons for this though are actually pretty understandable. You see, some bosses here simply don't say okay when you say you're going to quit.
Well, in America they kind of don't do that either. Depending on your job, that you have to like take your leave, and sometimes they're like, no, in Japan it's way worse because they try to keep you in, but in America they're not happy about it. They're definitely not happy.
This is particularly in the case of clients who work at a black company. Some bosses will actually try to stop their employees from quitting, becoming really aggressive or even threatening them with some financial liability.
What? You can do that?
Interestingly though, it actually isn't new grads that make up the bulk of users for this service. One agency even revealed it was less than 20%, but that the number was rising. Now, reasons why new grads are quitting vary from things like finding out the company wasn't like what they were told during the interview to simply not getting along with their coworkers.
Are women cringe?
But there is another trend. Fear for the future.
Makes you gaugy. Oh my
Thanks
god.
to @Confessarius for my sub gift.
Oh shit. Minty, do the 8 months! Thank you so much! Hi, Minty. Yeah, no shit, man. This is so scary to think about, that they have this kind of thing where they hire people to quit for them. Bro!
This isn't just Gen Z, but many of the younger generation are concerned that they aren't obtaining the skills they need for future progress, or see their superiors are not getting pay increases, but are just doing double the amount of work. A lot of Japanese
That sounds familiar. Asking for a 30-cent raise every year and then being told, oh, sorry, we can't legally give you that raise. Yeah, you don't have the qualifications. Also, this job doesn't let you have a 30-cent raise. That happens in America. American and Japanese corporate culture is not that different. I'll say that Japanese work culture is 100 times worse. But American culture is also pretty freaking bad. Yeah, it's wild. Hey, my last day is tomorrow, or not, whether you like it or not, I won't be there. Yeah, no, you can do that. I know they won't be happy about it, but like, They won't like cry and like threaten the lawsuit.
Companies have put in effort to improve their work environments, from trying to decrease overtime to changing how superiors talk with subordinates. But even with great working conditions, if younger workers don't feel challenged, they'll look elsewhere. This is certainly a big change from older generations, but essentially it boils down to Gen Z wanting a good work environment where they also feel—
That's crazy. It's almost like they don't want to work themselves to death. They're paying the consequences of like 40, 50 years of like really hard working culture.
that their future is secure. The power balance has started to shift in Japan. It's no longer about what the employees can do for the company, but what the company can do for the employee. Japanese companies that can't comply with those needs are going to continue to lose early stage workers. Okay guys, that's going to do it for this video. As someone who has worked in a number of Japanese companies with a lot of the younger generation, with a lot of Gen Z, honestly speaking, I can see their drive, I can see their passion, I can see that they actually do want to work.
And the birth rate reflects that. Every time I see one of those interviews of Japanese people that work really hard, and it's especially with women, they're like, yeah, I don't have time to like think about having a child because I need to work.
But they also want to improve their skills. They are scared. They're worried about what is going to happen to them. Economically speaking, Japan is not in the best of places, and they know it. All of the Gen Z know it, and they are expecting things from companies now. They want to see that those companies are going to provide for their futures. So yeah, Japanese companies are just going to have to step up. That's basically the deal. Anyway, thank you again for watching this video. Please leave your thoughts, your comments in the comment section below. And yeah, I'll be back with another video. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Peace.
You guys are cooked, man. It's literally 20 seconds. I even just showed I got ads!